Some 600 firefighters are on the lines today battling the flames at Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado.
A lot of times kids know that they're not supposed to go around the pool if their parents aren't there, but they do it anyway. And sometimes they do fall in. This is Game 5. This is when fans really need to show support for the team. Today when we were out here, the Kings took off at around 11:15, headed for Utah. I could almost count the number of fans out here on two hands.
Right now it's time for this morning's edition of Wake Up Sports. Besides the U.S. track and field trials, there are plenty of other sporting events going on around the world today, including the British Open. The first round is underway at St. Andrews as we speak.
I don't know if you can see down here behind me, we're walking in about 2 inches of water right now on this curb.
5 million people have come in here to see thousands upon thousands of shows. And if you can believe it, this is the last remaining tent theater in the United States. Take a look at this right here. Right now, people sit on canvas chairs. The 24 U.S. Navy servicemen and women kept in China for the past 11 days after their surveillance plane made an emergency landing are finally coming home. Emily doesn't have a cheekbone. She also only has 3/4 of an eye socket. And her lower jaw is too short and stunted. It's almost like the jaw of a 5-year-old on a 15-year-old face. I mentioned earlier, we have always thought about this as a man's disease, heart disease, lung cancer, but women have a whole separate set of risks involved with smoking. What are those?
Let's take you in here. We've got a little secret for you all this morning. These over here, this is Kelly, by the way. He's awesome. He makes what we call gobblestones, and these are gobblestones. I think I brought back one for you one day, Walt.
Harry Strong is out at Teal Bend Golf Course this morning, and did you make contact?
Did you see that? Jessica, if you can get it, I know you're cold too. Ooh, we were all kind of chilly this morning, but if you can show us when our child does fall in, what's one of the first things we need to do? Cooking up some sea bass. I love sea bass.
We got Chilean sea bass today. We're going to do with some grilled polenta topped with peach salsa. So it should be pretty cool. So we got to get this rolling right here.
Now, sea bass is pretty delicate. I mean, like flaky, you know what I mean? Is it okay to just throw it on the barbecue like that?
I want to see you hit one more.
My ball's over there, Walt.
Well, play it.
All right, here we go.
Shoot.
Here we go. It's coming back on the tee. And you know, the rule is you can never rush a swing. So I'm going to rush my swing right now.
Okay, here we go.
And I'm very nervous for Ron, actually.
No, just go ahead. Don't kill anybody. Good stuff.
It's absolutely gorgeous out here this morning. And Nate, he's one of the best pros around. He's been playing since he was 10 years old. And I'm telling you, this guy, I've taken lessons from him before. And I mean, it's amazing. He's taken my game to all new levels. I mean, I've had a slice, a hook, you name it, I've had it, and you've helped to fix that for me. And the one unique thing about you is you can explain things like no one else, and you can have somebody understand a concept that seems so difficult. Everyone says, I hit the ball perfectly 4 times, and then I slice it. Why do we slice the ball?
One more?
This is a great team.
All right, let's do one more.
All right, we're going to try
one more Mary drill.
I can't guarantee anything. All right, here we go. You guys ready?
One more.
All right. Go! Yes! Oh my gosh! I can't believe that! This is an awesome sport. Mike has told me 2 things that's supposed to ease my mind. One is that apparently the statistics show this is safer than driving a car. And number 2, that little tiny inflatable thing down there is supposed to catch my fall if anything happens. All right, Mike?
Ready?
No, but I guess. Oh gosh, this is not happening.
Okay, lean forward. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, punch it.
Oh shoot. Ah! Oh my gosh! My whole face was swollen even this morning.
Just because of the rush.
Yeah, it was absolutely an unbelievable feeling. Would never do it again, but an unbelievable feeling. We're transitioning from summer to fall today, and we're at Schofield's Furniture, and we're talking about how to add fall foliage to your home. And Virginia Schofield's here. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Choosing the right couch is one of the most difficult things in decorating. How big should you have it? What color should you get it in? What pillows do you put on it?
Now, this is something I love. This top comes off. Is that right? Let me help you with that.
Yes, Isn't this remarkable?
That is gorgeous. Now, what is this called?
And you do not want all 3 pillows on this couch at once, so keep that in mind too. He decided to come over here and kind of take a bite out of me. He could do a pretty...
Oh yeah, he could break your finger in half.
Okay.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
He won't do that,
Murphy.
I promise.
Don't even think about it. Hey, Ruby, can you say goodbye to everybody?
Tell them bye.
Thank you, Ruby. A 19-year-old accused of firebombing a school library has been cleared of all charges. Last March, Molotov cocktails started a fire that destroyed the Amador High School library in Sutter Creek, causing $500,000 in damage. But a jury found former student Jethro Mills not guilty of causing that fire. While detectives say they thought the case against Mills was solid, they'll continue to keep their investigation open. Thousands of residents in one Sutter County town are being warned not to drink the water there. Recent tests show unsafe levels of nitrate in the drinking water supply of Tierra Buena near Yuba City. Health officials are most concerned about pregnant women and babies. A long-term solution might be for Tierra Buena to get water from the Feather River, but a new pump house and pipeline would cost millions and is still years away. A short-term solution: use bottled water. Steve, the California Supreme Court will hear arguments today on a gun-related lawsuit. In 1993, gunman Luigi Ferrari went on a shooting spree at a San Francisco high-rise that killed 8 people. 2 of the guns used were assault pistols made by Navigar Incorporated, and now survivors and relatives of victims are suing the gun maker, claiming it made military-style weapons and targeted criminals with its advertising. The High Court will not determine whether Navigar was negligent, only whether victims are entitled to a jury trial. Well, don't blame this one on Mother Nature. A large tree in the Bay Area mysteriously fell and caused quite a mess. San Francisco police say the large tree toppled over and smashed 3 parked cars in Golden Gate Park yesterday afternoon. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and no one seems to know why the tree fell. Officials from the Park and Recreation Department were able to quickly clear that scene. This week's unseasonably hot weather is taking its toll on some of the state's crops. At this fruit stand in Contra Costa County, workers say their strawberry season is almost over. They say the heat has destroyed much of their berries. Some have even melted. A security guard is accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of electronic equipment from his high-tech employer and unloading it online. Police in Boise, Idaho suspect Ethan Gums stole digital cameras and scanners, then tried to auction the items off on eBay. Investigators say these types of cases are gaining in popularity. Police say crooks see the internet as the new frontier with potential.
Kevin, this tent has been around in Sacramento since 1951. And since then, about 5 million people have come in here to see thousands upon thousands of shows. And if you can believe it, this is the last remaining tent theater in the United States. Take a look at this right here. Right now, people sit on canvas chairs. I don't know if you can see that from where you are, but they sit on canvas chairs. This entire theater is going to be redone in the year 2003. They're actually going to have real theater chairs, and instead of swamp coolers, they're going to have real air conditioning. I know a lot of people will be happy about that. Right now on this stage, the production of Into the Woods is playing, and I don't know if you can see that moss. This is what the set looks like right now for Into the Woods. But next week, it's going to be changing to the Broadway production of Mame. And on Wednesday, all the performers finally got to come on the round and rehearse for the first time for that production. And here's what we found out behind the scenes.
Here we go.
In 4 days, everything has to be perfect. The music, the choreography,
Hold right there.
and it's all riding on this guy's shoulders, director John DeLuca.
I know everything I want to do in terms of scenes and set changes and how I'm going to reblock the scenes, and so I have lists and lists and lists of all the changes.
Looking at somebody, you're screaming and jumping up.
And he's not shy about them. He tells actors what they're doing wrong and right in most cases, making sure his vision comes to life. Music director John Barna takes that vision and gives it sound.
I'm watching for where people are going to be specifically on the stage. I take notes of where I'm going to have to throw specific cues to tell them where to sing, because they're actually moving around the actual stage space now.
Even though you're going to inch down, once you go, you go. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Those toe-tapping tunes are put to good use by this man, Mame's choreographer, Dan Mojica. He's well known as the original choreographer of Beauty and the Beast, so you can imagine when he talks, these dancers listen.
We just did the It's Today number, which is a very high-energy party sequence. So what I'm trying to give them is an enthusiasm for why they've come to Mame Dennis's house.
This may all look very put together, but what you're not seeing is the week and a half of rehearsal time these performers spent off stage, most of them rehearsing during the day, and by night performing The Music Man under the tent. Hectic? Yes.
Rehearsing a musical on Broadway can take months, but here at the Music Circus, they have 2 weeks to rehearse before they actually open. And they make pretty good money doing this. For 1 week of rehearsal, they make $727. For the actual week of performance, they can make between $700 and $3,000, depending on the part. Not bad for a week's work.
That's the part I need to practice.
Many of the actors seen here are flown in from New York or Los Angeles, but there are a few locally grown. Offstage, Sacramentan Ricky Resigan practices one of the scenes he's having trouble with.
Once you get the step, you connect it with the line, and then you remember it easier because the body and the mind hooked up together somehow makes it connect better. So just, I guess for me, the more repetition I do, the better it is.
And oh, will there be repetition.
On Friday, we'll add the next element, which will be costumes and lights. And then on Saturday, we'll add the orchestra. And then on Sunday, we'll do a final run-through all together, and Monday's opening day.
The moon is full, the gin's in the bathtub.
And who could forget the star of the show? Of course, we saved the best for last. Ruth Williamson. Look familiar? You may have seen her on TV. She's made appearances on Law & Order and over 200 commercials. And she's a Broadway baby. Her latest role, Mrs. Shin in The Music Man. You can see this gorgeous smile and vibrant red hair next week. MAME opens Monday.
Terrific, guys.
And coming up, we'll actually be talking to Ruth Williamson. She is a well-known Broadway actress, and she's adding a little spice to the Sacramento stage. We're going to talk to her about her career and what she thinks about Sacramento. That's all coming up in about 10 minutes. Kevin, back to you.
Amazing amount of work that goes into that, Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.